Known for his bruising runs and devastating blocks, now he's bulldozing through sports talk with that same championship intensity. Joining him is his son, Xavier, a savant of football knowledge and statistical insight. He's your go-to source for the latest recruiting news and insider updates from across the Bama Nation. And Simeon, the thinker and contemplator, bringing you insight and knowledge that is logical, thoughtful, and on point. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective with real conversations where the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff. So buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon is live. Roll Tide, roll!
Roll Tide, roll. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome into this Friday edition of the program. It's a free-for-all Friday. We're live, local, and ready to get things rolling. Free for All Friday is powered by the good folks over at TJ's Pharmacy and Wellness. I was talking to someone just the other day, and they were talking about the Midtown Pharmacy. I said, no. It's TJ's Pharmacy and Wellness, no longer Midtown Pharmacy, right? Pharmacy at Midtown. Because he's moved location, 303 Hargrove Road East. So let's make sure that he that you check him out at his new locations off of Hargrove Road. Same great team, same great staff, same great people, same great service, but new location. You can find them turn right off of McFarland. Highway 82 onto Hargrove Road. And they power each and every Friday. That's TJ's Pharmacy and Wellness. And that wellness part is important. It's more than just a pharmacy. They can help you with a lot of other needs. Go check them out. Go to tjspharmacy.com. All right. And we're powered each and every Friday by the good folks over at Box Eye Care. They power every day. And we're glad to have them as one of our sponsors. If you want to join a winning roster of sponsors, email Martin at martinhouston.org. Not only do you get the radio airwaves, you get access to literally the world via our live stream podcast incorporated with your advertising dollars. So, and nobody does it better than we do right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. Biggest reach of anybody on the program, so on this radio station. That's winning roster. Send me an email, Martin at martinhouston.org, and we'll get you added. All right. Guys, remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. We're going to take this first segment, hit a couple quick topics, and then move into the ratings. We're going to be talking wide receivers. Yesterday we broke down the quarterback. Day before we broke down the offense. So, let's start with the combine invites, and then we'll just show once again the craziness of how Alabama is treated versus the rest of the world, from the media, from the NCAA, or whoever it is. And once again, if you don't get what you want, just sue. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, looking at the combine invites, Alabama has 12 players that have been invited, which is the second most. The first is actually Texas A&M with 13. So Alabama's still churning out talent, just trying to get it all figured out in a new system on the field, because Ty Simpson, quarterback, Jam Miller, running back, wide receiver Jeremy Bernard, tight end Josh Cuevas, offensive lineman Caden Proctor, Parker Brailsford, Jaden Roberts, who everybody feels like had a disappointing season, whether that be his fault, the coaching staff, whatever, he's going. Defensive lineman Tim Keenan the third, and LT Overton linebackers Justin Jefferson and Deontay Lawson, and wrapping it up, cornerback Damani Jackson, who even we believe had a disappointing season. 12 guys from Bama getting an opportunity to go to Indianapolis and show pro scouts, pro teams what they can do, whether it be out on the field doing drills or in interviews.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see, especially Jeremy Bernard. I feel like just in his interviews, he is going to maybe sneak into the first round. I know we talked about it yesterday or a couple days ago, that he was projected for the second round. But I saw somebody sneak him in at the end of the first round, going to, I think it was either the Packers or the Chiefs, and so I think one of those teams would be a perfect fit for Bernard.
Yeah, when the fact that Bama's still sending 10 plus guys to the combine every year, and I think this is a quote unquote potentially weak draft class for Alabama when you look at what's coming out next year and compared to what came out last year. I still think there's an opportunity for a few guys to work their way into the first round as locks. But man, this Alabama team still has so much talent.
So that's the contradiction of what we've been saying all
It feels
yeah,
like it.
no, ain't no feel like it. We've been saying that this Alabama team didn't have as much talent. Saban left the cupboard bare. So of those guys that you just named, how many are Saban guys?
Well, Jeremy's not. Josh isn't.
Damani isn't.
Damani isn't.
But did Saban coach Damani?
Parker isn't. Huh? Well, I don't know if Damani's here without Saban.
He's not. Probably not. So, and he went down.
Yeah.
But I think that was.
He would have been in better position leaving last year.
I think he was playing to not get hurt. And it cost him.
Seems like it.
It cost him big time.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else on the combine? Who you got as the guy that's going to jump up the most? I think Simeon thinks. You know, at one point in the season, it's interesting. Early in the season, I think it was even Max Shea that was talking about Jeremy being a first round pick. And I don't know that Jeremy did anything to hurt that. I don't. You know what I mean?
I just don't think his.
I don't know.
His, like, I won't say his measurables, but I think it's gotten more of a hype because Jordan Tyson at Arizona State. There's only a handful of guys that, I mean, maybe 2 or 3 guys that I would say were more productive than Bernard, but Bernard's stats really doesn't necessarily translate to how impactful he was on the field, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the wide receiver room in this draft, it's pretty deep. And you look at the Carnell Tate from Ohio State, you talk about Tyson from Arizona, you look at Makai Lemon from USC, and those are the 3 names that you kind of hear that are locked first rounders. And then I think Jeremy headlines that next group of guys. And I think physically he'll probably be the most imposing of that next group. Now, it depends on what his times are and stuff like that. Will kind of dictate, will he be a back end first rounder, or will he probably end up in the first part of the second round?
Okay. All right.
So,
well,
but the guy that truly might have the most to show and most to grow, Justin Jefferson, I think he's going to test off the charts. And I think that'll get people calling his name. I think potentially how well he tests, he might even get drafted before Deontay.
Yeah, and of course, you know, they'll test Deontay's knee, and don't be surprised if they don't find a way to all agree that his
Bingham.
knee is not 100% either. I think Jaden Roberts could be a guy who didn't even play that ends up not jumping to the first round, but ends up being a guy that the scouts like if he wants to do it, because he'll test well in everything.
Yeah.
And he's very, very intellectual. From my interaction with him, the kid has like 3 degrees, 2 masters and an undergrad or something, was working on his 4th one. It was something crazy. So he could be one of those guys that be like, okay, why didn't he play? And I can't answer that.
End up being a 5th round pick that ends up being a Pro Bowler for a decade.
Yeah. And he could get higher than that based on his just physical stature. But if you look at him, he's the guy you send off the bus.
Yeah.
That's
what they call him, the Hulk.
Like the Hulk.
He's the guy that we were talking about the other day.
He looks like the Hulk.
Yeah, he's the guy we were talking about the other day that you thought was going to be nasty.
And he was. He just didn't play this year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's him, them, or both of them. So anyway, what else you got before we get to break real quick?
Just real quick before we get into the break and the wide receiver rankings, Trinidad Chambliss got approved for his, I guess, would it be his 6th year of eligibility? And I was telling y'all before the show started, the judge was actually tearing up before he announced his ruling. He started speaking at 4:30, and he did not tell his ruling. It was almost 6 o'clock before he spoke and said, Trinidad, you're eligible. So he spoke for almost an hour and a half of just rambling. And then at the end started tearing up.
Did he ramble, or did he also take some shots at the NCAA? I haven't heard it. Inconsistency. Was he backing? I think the Alabama judge could have potentially just bowed to the pressure. I think he could have bucked and gave a permanent thing and let the NCAA figure it out. But I don't think he wanted his name associated with forever in history. You're the guy who destroyed it. Did he have legal standing potential? Yes, but he also, to me, he could have went the other way. This judge, I think, is setting up to say, listen.
He's an older gentleman too. And so I think maybe this is one of his last few years as a judge and stuff. So I think he might have just wanted, but for him to start tearing up is clearly some type of favoritism or something. but we should have just kept Judge Roberts or something, because if you can start tearing up, then Judge Roberts didn't do anything wrong.
Well, and here's the thing. But you don't hear the media outcry. You have not heard the media outcry on anybody but Bediako.
Not the 9-year guy, not the 8-year guy.
What about the
Joey Aguilar? Nobody.
What's his name? Something Kyrie Walker from Maryland.
The basketball player?
Yeah, he's 25 and he's been in the G League and he didn't go to college.
He played overseas and everything.
And they showed him in an official picture on an official visit to Maryland. On an official visit to Maryland.
Oh yeah, by the way, that Montana linebacker, he's about to be 27.
Yeah. So, but Bediako, because he signed the contract, came to college, left college, and signed a contract, he's ineligible. But everybody else that have done everything except for come to college is still eligible. That's the craziness of all of this. So,
the NCAA didn't even come back to listen to the ruling.
On who?
For Trinidad?
For Trinidad. They left and didn't come back.
There you go.
So they already knew what was going to happen, I guess.
Okay. Wow. Well, you're listening to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier Simeon. And I'm going to tell you, one of my teammates, I need to find his comment. Matt Hammond, starting left tackle on the 92 team. I think it was him that posted something. I read sometimes too much and don't always mark it, but I think it was him that posted, when we need to get the courts out of sports, decide who's going to set the rules for college football, and then start enforcing them. Because right now, all you have to do is go to court. The only person to lose a court case that I'm aware of is Bediako.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like everybody else is in like
They got
Why
ADS.
are all the other TROs set so quick?
Valid.
Like,
and then not touch.
right, that's what I'm saying. Like the guys from A&M and all of that, their TROs have been in place all season. Bediako's TRO was put in on January 20th. January 20th, set with a thing, even had a judge recuse himself, had a judge listen to the case, wait a couple days, and it's still resolved. And then there's other guys who have been playing half a year and into the second semester under a TRO.
Fair. That's a great question.
Like, okay, let's look at that. If the Alabama judge was such a favoritism guy, his TRO could have been set and the case not heard till April or May. If he was doing it strictly because he was wanting Alabama to have an advantage, because that's what everybody else has done. What good is it? Yeah. This guy gave Trinidad a TRO. Simeon, we need to check and see when are they going to finalize that TRO? Because right now, if it's not set to be, the TRO is good through this time next year, it doesn't matter. See, like the Texas A&M TRO is good for all season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So even though he has not won his case and he's not won his preliminary injunction, he just has a TRO.
See, and now the question is, say Texas A&M goes on a run and wins the national championship. What you going to do then?
Nothing. You can't do anything.
It's over.
Because he's technically eligible, because the TRO is a legally binding document. That's why everybody that's complaining about Bediako in his 5 games, they're blowing smoke up their own butt. Because there's nothing they can do about it. It's completely legal. It was legal. He was eligible for 5 games. He was not an ineligible player. And I've heard guys say that is wrong. He was eligible. Now he has been ruled ineligible. If they play him now, then they forfeit.
Then you can get punished.
But he was playing under eligibility, and he was 100% eligible during those 5 games. So, all right, let's get the break here. Coming back on the other side, guys, we're going to get into some rankings. We'll talk a little bit more about the quarterback room, see if you guys had enough time to think about it, talk about it, want to change it, stick with it. And we're going to talk about wide receivers and how important they are to what Alabama wants to accomplish next year. You listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. It is TGIF, and we're waking up to a problem in Foster's. Culver Road, northbound before Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Do watch out for this accident. Now, traffic right now, just maneuvering around it without severe delays. 2059 wide open from 359 to Joe Malisham as you travel at posted speed. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
At Townsend Nissan, we bring the value. Drive the 2026 Sentra for just $279 a month, one of the lowest payments in Alabama. Plus, a lifetime powertrain warranty and 3 years of free oil changes when you mention Steve in DC. Townsend Nissan, your family in the car business.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393. Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393. Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Plus, free premium delivery with any bed and base. Ends Monday. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
A miracle comeback, it's gone! The Crimson Tide will ride this season's wave all the way to the World Series.
Bama softball is back, and they need you to bring the party all season long. Celebrate our 30th season with theme nights like Taco versus Hot Sauce, Power of Pink, Barnyard in the Brickyard, and so much more. You don't want to miss this season-long 30th celebration at Rhodes Stadium. Purchase your Bama softball season tickets today at RollTide.com.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Another nice day today, partly to mostly sunny, the high 66. For tonight, fair with the low at 43. Tomorrow, a mixture of clouds and sunshine during the day. A chance of rain tomorrow night, the high in the upper 60s at 68. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 38 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier and Simeon, powered by Box Eye Care. It's a free-for-all Friday powered by TJ's Pharmacy and Wellness. Good morning, guys. Good to be back in. If you just joining us on the radio airways, don't forget you can always call in on the hotline at 205-342-9904. You can post your thoughts, your comments, and your reactions in the live stream chat, and we'll work it into the conversation. Several people talking about, I think Tim Coggins said it's curious that Sankey didn't wrote a letter to stop, sign an affidavit to stop Bama, but not a peep on Ole Miss, because they've been letting this ruling. Bediako's case was different. Bediako was the first G leaguer that they ruled ineligible, if I'm not mistaken, or the first one that was ruled ineligible, and that was where they decided to take a stand on Bediako. There's supposedly DC said like there's 100 guys that came from the G League that they that the NCAA didn't rule as ineligible. They just gave them permission. So, and then if you start looking at there's so many guys. We said, well, can't wait till COVID's over because once COVID's over, we'll finally get back to it. Well, COVID is year 7. I mean, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. That was the 6th year. And now we're in 2026, and guys still got another year. And we still have guys putting that on their resume as part of why they should get another year, and they're approving them. There's guys in 6, 7, 8 years. There's guys getting credit for COVID that weren't even in college when COVID happened. So it's just crazy. And so just a few other things.
Trinidad Chambers is one of them.
Huh?
He started college in 2021. Great.
Jacob Powell. And now they're giving him extra years because they got hurt.
He got tonsillitis.
Huh?
Trinidad didn't play all his redshirt.
He redshirted his freshman year. Played 2 games.
No, he didn't play at all. That's what the judge said yesterday. He didn't play at all. And got tonsillitis. So
and the other guy, the
is why he
9-year,
didn't play.
The 9-year poster child had 4 consecutive years that he didn't play his first 4 years. But it was injuries that were like he would get hurt, miss that year, and then he wouldn't be ready by the next year. I'm like, dude, what's up with that? He didn't. I'm not saying either he needs to quit playing or he was not working hard during the off season.
Your body is just you just need to call it a day. If you get injured for 4 straight years, 4 different
and that's what
injuries,
guys used to do. Like
they didn't have a choice. This Baker guy that's in charge. I used to anyway. The judges in these other local towns, come on this and guys, then we'll transition. Jacob Powell said the judges in these other towns support their college interests. Our judge didn't. Not saying that's a bad thing for our guy, but does it appear that Alabama gets punked? Even though we stood up finally as a university, but it seems like Alabama doesn't take full advantage of the power that they wield at times.
Now, granted, Alabama has 2 football players going into their 7th year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it. Listen, it's the same thing with the Bediako case. I didn't want Bediako to come back. If you said, do I want Bediako coming back to college? No. But I don't like the fact that Bediako is the only one that's been told no. There's not enough difference in what he did and they did other than the fact that he came to college.
Yeah.
He's getting punished for doing the right thing. He came to college and all these other guys didn't. That's like telling the girl, no, I'm not going to prom with you because you ugly.
Uh-oh.
I got a better option. And then you come back 3, 4, 7, 8 and realize, ugly duckling done turned into a swan.
When your hairline done receded, your belly done expanded.
Well, I ain't talking about her. I'm not talking about the player. The player hadn't changed. The player it's the girl who changed in this scenario, Xavier.
College has gotten
college isn't the ugly duckling now. College is the beautiful swan compared to the G League. The G League is the ugly duckling. And so you had guys who was going after what they thought was a beautiful swan, foregoing it, and now they're eligible to come back and go, hey, I know I stood you up. I know you asked me to go to the prom. I know you wanted me for your prom date, but I told you no. Then you have a guy who was with the prom date, thought he was ready to go to somebody else, and then he wants to come back. Better, I guess it's better to never have loved than to have loved and moved on.
I guess so.
I mean, that's the crazy. I know I'm being funny, but that's the craziness of it. Real quick, a couple questions. Tim Coggins, he's been out a couple days. Tim, we talked a little bit about the coach. I'll let these guys give a quick thought on that. And Jason Rutledge won the contest, so I'm in the process of working through getting everything from Athlete's Thread shipped directly to him. So, yep. So we'll get through that. All right.
Yeah.
Anything y'all want to say on the tight end coach before we start on the quick review of the quarterback room?
Yeah, when you look at Richard Owens, he former NFL tight end that has coached tight ends and offensive line at the collegiate level, and I think that's a really good combination to have with what I think Alabama wants to get back to, and that's being physical and dominant up front in the run game, in the passing game. Because tight ends don't release on every pass either. And so you want to have a guy that you feel like can be a solid blocker in those situations when they're not out on routes even. So, and being able to move guys up front in the run game. So I like the hire, and I think it's a good combination of Clem with him and Clem.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an amazing hire. He coached at UAB, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So he has experience with the state of Alabama. Obviously not at the same level, but still comfortable with Alabama. Like you said, former NFL player, and has had some really impressive years as an offensive line coach. And so I think it's just a great experience for what Alabama has.
Simeon, really quick, you mentioned that about coaching at UAB. Sometimes we go not at the same level, but sometimes that can be really good because those guys are used to having to grind to try to get into the schools. And they're used to having they see the top talent, but they've also had to evaluate. They've had to evaluate that guy and go, okay, he's not good enough to go to Alabama right now. But will he be good enough to compete against Alabama down the road? So they've had to look at guys and kind of see maybe some of those ugly ducklings. And that's what I thought we were going to get with DeBoer. I still think we may get some of that down the road because that's what it's funny how nobody gives DeBoer credit for what he did at Washington before he didn't have all those old guys. How many 5 stars did DeBoer have on his championship team that won the pack and made it to the finals? He didn't have. I don't know if he had any, right? So I'm hoping that's what we're going to see this year out of this coaching staff is that ability to develop, and I think Owens fits that mold.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All
right. It's the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. We'll be back on the other side to get into the wide receiver breakdown for today. We'll be back in a little bit.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. It is TGIF, and we're waking up to a problem in Foster's. Culver Road, northbound before Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Do watch out for this accident. Now, traffic right now, just maneuvering around it without severe delays. 2059 wide open from 359 to Joe Malisham as you travel at posted speed. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's the grand reopening of the all-new Tuscaloosa Mazda. Get the grand reopening price. Plus, make no payments till spring. TuscaloosaMazda.com.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized. Call North River Timber Company today. Email them at northrivertimberco@gmail.com or call 205-242-5127.
This Valentine's Day, be sure to check out Sue's Flowers on Main Avenue in downtown Northport. They offer impressive fresh bouquets, decadent treats, plush animals, blooming plants, and other romantic surprises. If you're looking for the wow look, call Sue's Flowers for truly original Valentine's Day gifts. Sue's fresh Valentine flower arrangements bloom brighter and will impress her friends, her family, and everyone who will see them. Sue's Flowers is sure to have a bouquet she'll love. Call 758-2100 today.
It was a typical day in Tuscaloosa until the word got out. It's a crime to pay more than a dime. One dime down.
So get to Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Every vehicle is just a dime.
One dime down.
And save thousands. We're overstocked with new 2025s. They all must go. New Grand Cherokees, Ram trucks, Durangos, and more with a 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty.
Thousands off, and all just one dime down.
Plus acres of certified pre-owned, all makes, all models.
If you've got a job and a dime, you ride.
Even if your credit's so bad, your Nana won't loan you money. Plus, get 0% financing for 60 months.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime. One dime down.
You pick it out, we'll work it out.
At Tuscaloosa, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
During the Start Something New sales event. TuscaloosaCDJR.com.
Example 25 Dodge Hornet 32,850, dime down 575 a month, 60 months, 6% APR, plus tax tag title to qualify.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier and Simeon. It's a free call Friday. Got to pay some bills. Got to pay some bills, man. Dixie Battery Supply helps us pay those bills each and every day. One of our faithful sponsors, Dixie Battery Supply. They buy junk batteries. They're locally owned and operated. Tuscaloosa, Bessemer, Northport, brick and mortar. Go online. You can request some additional information, and they'll take care of you by going to Dixie Battery Supply, DixieBatterySupply.com. So if you're looking for something to power the smallest device all the way up to the largest vehicle, they can help you, and you will never feel powerless again. I had to just go in and get one of those batteries. That cold spell kind of exposed my weak battery. I drove right on over to Dixie Battery Supply and got a new one and got that thing put in there. So that's Dixie Battery Supply. Go check them out. And like I said earlier, if you're looking to get the word out and wanting to serve and be supplier for Alabama Nation, then there's no better roster to be a part of than the Martin Houston Show. Advertise to great followers, loyal followers. The Maniacs will take care of you. And all you need to do is send an email to Martin at martinhouston.org.
All right. Get ready to kick things.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Get ready to kick things off with the wide receiver room. And
Do you not want to hit that quarterback room first as a review? Because we kind of threw that in right there at the end. Make sure everybody good with that. We had the overall depth was a B plus for the quarterback room over the three of us, 3.5. I mean, a B, a C plus, and a B plus. So overall, there is a B. I should say. I said B plus, a B for ceiling for the quarterbacks. We had A plus, A plus. We think that there's a lot of upside in that room. Leadership was the lowest grade we gave for the quarterback room. Was a leadership was B, B, and B, and game changer. All of us gave A plus. X, you the only one on depth. You gave a C plus. That's the only non B grade for the quarterbacks. You still stand by that?
Yeah, just because it's unproven depth, so we don't know. We don't have a clue what we have in quarterbacks 3 and 4, and we have only seen whoever 1 and 2 is, however that plays out in limited.
Is Jet Tomlin the least hyped 5-star we've ever had?
At the quarterback position, absolutely.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, I didn't even know he was that good. I mean, I thought,
he was a late riser, later than Keelan was. Like Keelan was a late riser going into his senior year. Jet was a late riser through his senior year.
They gave him the Bama bump.
Yeah, I was going to say, they used to blame it on Saban. So I guess the question now becomes, is Kalen DeBoer getting the Bama bump? Do people trust his evaluation that much?
I mean,
so, because it's not because of Saban anymore.
Right.
I mean, you look at the quarterbacks that he's recruited, from Michael Penix at Indiana to Washington. People love Keelan Russell, but Austin Mack is a dog who graduated high school a year early. And now you look at Jet Tomlin. I mean, maybe and Alabama's in line for the number 1 quarterback in the 27 class.
And don't forget what he did in that 1 year with the kid at Fresno State.
Yep, Jake Hayner got drafted because of him.
So that's what we got to figure out. Grubb had something to do with that. We just got to figure that magic out here. But let's get to the wide receiver conversation. We'll start it and then we'll get a quick break and come back and wrap it up.
Yeah. So overall,
we'll
start with depth. Ooh, depth is interesting on this one because you've got Ryan Williams, who had a down year. You've got Lottie Brooks, who was a great number 4 for this Alabama team, and he's going to expect it to take a jump with Bernard leaving and with Isaiah Horton transferring. Then you've got the transfer Noah Rogers, who former top 40 recruit that was at Ohio State before going to North Carolina State. Then you got Cedarian Morgan. Then you got some young guys that you hope can turn into something in this room. In Mathis and Walker and Keon Sabb's younger brother, Amari. I'm going to have to go B, though, because it's so much unknown. C minus. I'll go C, B minus. B minus. My bad.
I was about to say
B
what?
minus. B minus because it's so much unknown.
No, I mean, I think B is a perfect spot grade to give him because, like you said, there is so much unknown, but also it could get really top heavy with Ryan and Lottie and Noah Rogers, and I think Derek Meadows will still be actually. Let me
and Rico Scott.
B plus. Rico Scott's coming back. Derek Meadows, which Derek Meadows played a lot until he got that concussion and kind of fell out of the lineup. So I think with those guys coming back, I think it's probably a B plus for me.
All right, B plus for Simeon. Guys, it's funny how we're going. They don't have that much depth. I mean,
how much depth do you need?
How many players do you need at that receiver position?
You need to be able to be at least 2 deep. In my opinion, you need to be able to be 2 deep and then have a couple bodies in case of an injury.
So you
12
need
guys?
you need
I said a couple.
10. You need 10 receivers to be have depth.
I say 8 to 9.
Okay,
Because
okay,
Alabama's going to be 3 wide most of the time.
Okay, are they? Here's why I'm gonna give I might give them an A minus. I'm contemplating A minus. Y'all tell me if I'm thinking wrong. You got Ryan Williams, receiver 1. Lottie Brooks, receiver 1, playing 2. Lottie Brooks is right there based on what he did as a freshman. Lottie Brooks is back there. If you put him back there with the Fab Four, he did as much in his freshman year being the fourth guy. Huh?
He did more.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Being the fourth guy than the guys that were like all the same age. He did that with older guys.
He did that when we're talking. You're talking about Judy Ruggs and Smitty as freshmen, and
Right
then
out gang, right?
Yeah,
he would have fit in with the right out gang, Mechie, Waddle, all of them. He would fit that mold. So that's 2 guys right there. Okay, you have to give Sedarian. I mean, you got to give him some love.
5-star, yeah.
I mean, this guy, you're expecting this guy to come in. What's the easiest position to come in and play college football?
wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
And
That's
you're hoping he's Julio 2.0?
He don't even have to be as good as Julio. I already said I have 2 number 1 receivers.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's either wide receiver 3 or 4.
Right. And then you have the transfer. Who was a 4-star, 5-star?
A high end 4-star.
Okay. So that's 4 guys. Plus
Meadows was a 4 or 5-star depending on where you looked.
Meadows was playing before he got jacked up. Then you have a couple other guys who can be those. But here's the other part that the reason I'm thinking about a potential A is the tight end game is going to be part of it.
Are we
Tight
counting?
end game is going to allow Alabama to not have to play 4 wide receivers. I think you're going to see that 4th and 5th wide receiver sometimes be tight end. You see what I'm saying? Like instead of having to look for
You're
5
expecting a lot of 12 personnel?
Yes, but it looks like 12 personnel, but they're gonna play the 5 wide rotation. In other words, I think you're gonna see some of those tight ends be the 4th wide receiver and the 5th wide receiver. Not tight end, but receiver. Is that making sense what I'm saying?
I mean, Marshall Pritchett is the perfect mold for that.
Yes,
I mean,
I'm talking about when they go to the empty formation, or they go to 4 wide receiver in formation. The personnel is 12, or maybe 13, but they're using the tight ends to be the 4th and 5th wide receiver. That's how they're going to generate more depth.
I mean, like I was just saying, if you look at Marshall Pritchett was a wide receiver in high school that they put 25, 30 pounds on. So if he can still move, he's the perfect mold of that stretch wide, that split wide.
So is Caleb Edwards.
And Tim Coggins points it out. And P. Fields pointed out a lot of 13. That's why I'm saying the wide receiver room itself has more depth than we think. Because I just went to the first 4 guys. I think you're going to see a lot of them. And then Meadows, who knows? Meadows could jump up into that rotation because, like I said, he was playing before he got hurt. So, all right. I gave it an A minus. All right. Ceiling, guys. What you got?
The ceiling's an A plus because of everything we just talked about. You've got 5 stars. You've got high end 4 stars. You've got a 3-star that fits the mold that could have been a freshman All-American last year.
Yeah, I think I'll give it an A. I'll give it an A because I don't know how the relationship between Ryan Grubb and Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams is in a year that he needs to have a good year. And so maybe Grubb focuses on him, maybe to get him to leave or whatever, because the relationship isn't great, or maybe it's more of the same. Because if it's more of the same, Ryan won't. I don't know if Ryan will have the stats to leave next year. I know he'll probably leave anyway, but that relationship has to improve for me to give it an A plus.
And mine is going to be an A minus. And I give it an A minus because because of some of the unknown. So leadership. Hey, see me go first.
B. I know this kind of sounds bad, but I don't look necessarily to wide receivers to be my biggest leaders. I know that's crazy, but I feel like a B. If your wide receiver room is a B on leadership, I think you're doing pretty good.
Hey, our top leader last year was the wide receiver.
Yeah, but we don't have
What you got?
no
B plus, B plus.
Y'all notice y'all know I'm tough on leadership.
Yeah,
I had to give a C plus because I just don't. Ryan Williams is the bona fide leader, and I don't know if he. I think he's a quiet guy. So I'm gonna have to see. I will change. I'm sure I'll change that grade after spring, but I don't see a leader in that room yet.
A vocal leader?
I don't see a
Or just
leader
like
in
a
the
leader
room.
in general. Okay.
In general, because Lottie is the one that he was the fourth string guy, so he has to take a. I mean, he was the fourth guy. Ryan was the obvious guy that you would think would step in, but is he that guy? I don't know. I don't really know. So, all right.
Yeah.
Game changer.
A plus.
A plus. Ryan Williams at his potential.
Ryan Williams by himself.
Yeah. Lottie Brooks. Yeah.
You throw Lottie in that mix and it gets scary. And once again, and then we've got three big body wide receivers we expect to contribute this year in Rodgers, Morgan, and Meadows.
Favorite build of a wide receiver.
Y'all going A plus? I'm going A
Yeah.
minus. I mean A. Let me tell you why I'm going A. I'm not ready. I don't know if Ryan Williams, can I trust him? Will he be back mentally? Will Grubb? Will they rehabilitated Ryan Williams is A plus plus?
Yeah.
But the Ryan Williams that finished the season is really a B.
Yeah.
The way they
and that's generous.
Right.
The way they yeah.
So that's the only reason I give that score. So closing thoughts, guys.
No, I mean it's been a great show, great week talking sports, and I'm glad that we're getting into breaking down the positions and the players before we get to spring ball. So after we watch spring ball, we can come back and go, hey, have your opinions changed anywhere? And I think we also should maybe do a little preview of who we think the starters are going to be once we wrap this part up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing this wide receiver room. Looking forward to Ryan Williams getting back into the Ryan Williams of old.
Yeah, and you may be thinking, dang, y'all guys feel really good. No, I do feel good about there's two rooms I feel good about on offense. That's why I started here. Quarterback room and the wide receiver room. I do feel good about those two rooms. But those two rooms will go as the O-line go. We're going to hit the running back room next, and then we're going to close out with tight ends and O-line. We'll save O-line for last. But I do feel good about those rooms, and that's what is reflected in those grades. I think the potential is there. I think there's more depth than we realize. But will it all pan out? We're giving a way too early, probably way too generous look because we have our crimson colored glasses on. We understand that. But we'll be back and we'll readjust it accordingly. Thank you guys for jumping at us. I did not realize that Pat was on, so Pat, I apologize to you for not getting to you. That was an oversight on my part. We'll get back with you. Make sure you call us back on Monday. We'll still talk about Sankey and Ole Miss. But you've been listening to the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. We're going through the Houston Power Rankings. We're going to put up a little bit about the ones where we're at so far. Get a little controversy going. I can't wait for some of the national people to go, oh, they're just crimson colored glasses. Absolutely. We're not going to be like the judge. We're not going to recuse ourselves. We're all in on the tide. Roll tide, everybody. Remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. Always acknowledge him, and he will direct the path. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.